Hey guys, Maka here, currently looking at the MOGA ACE POWER mobile gaming controller for iOS devices. Currently retails at $100. You can buy it at the Apple Store or online at a bunch of retailers. Now, what you get in the box is the controller itself, which actually has a built-in 1800 milliamp hour battery that you can use to charge your phone and keep your gaming experience longer, or you can just choose to throw it in your backpack and use it as a just-in-case recharge if you were to run out of batteries. So we're going to kind of go through the controller, what it has to offer, and what kind of features it actually has on the physical case itself. And then I'll show up some gaming with it and kind of review the product. So starting off, I'll kind of go in order of what makes sense. If you click up here, you actually get a small display of, we'll get it to focus right there, a small display of how much battery the actual case itself has. So again, it has an 1800 milliamp hour battery, which is almost equivalent to what the iPhone 5S has itself. So this controller supports the iPhone 5S, 5C, the iPhone 5, and the iPod Touch 5th generation or later. It works with iOS 7 or later. Again, this is because iOS 7 threw in functionality for third-party controller support, and you can probably bet that there'll be a lot of third-party controllers available for gaming on the iPhone. This is kind of one of the first ones available, and it is one of the most in-depth ones for sure, with 2 full analog sticks. So moving on, we have the 2 analog sticks, which are comparable to DS and like PS Vita kind of analog sticks. They're not fully sticking out, kind of like an Xbox controller. They're very flush, although they feel pretty decent. There's a D-pad, which is all right. There's 4 face buttons here. There is, I'll get to these buttons in a second. And on top, we have 2 bumpers and 2 triggers. On the back, we also have a reset button up here and a lock button right here, or it's more of a switch. I'll put my phone in now. I have an iPhone 5S. So to put your phone in, you open it up. You have a spring load. So you spring load it, lock it in place, put your phone in, slide it in the bottom, and then unspring lock it, and the phone's in there. Now, one of the cool things you can do is use this button up here to actually open and close your phone like that. You can use the battery as always to see how much battery you have. This is a pause button you would have in game. And then here you also have a switch which will turn the battery pack on or off. So right now you might notice that, oh, I have a normal battery. If I flick it on, it begins to charge. So that's pretty cool. You can always charge your phone whenever you need it. So another feature that might be worth mentioning is the inclusion of these 2 bars right here. So what do those 2 bars do? They actually redirect the speakers that are at the bottom of an iPhone and make them redirect towards the user to kind of make them like front-facing speakers. Another thing they have right here at the bottom is a pass-through of the headphones. So if I were to grab a pair of headphones, I can actually still plug them into the bottom of the device and still use the headphones without a problem, even though the headphone jack is blocked. Included with the case are also these spacers, which allow iPod 5th generation users to still fit their device inside. Now, before we get to the actual review, I kind of want to do a quick size comparison with an iPhone to an Xbox controller. So right here I have an Xbox controller, so you can kind of see the size comparison of the two side by side. With an iPhone, it's obviously a hell of a lot wider just because of how big the screen is. But I thought I would show you guys that. Now to get into some of the review while some gameplay shows in the corner here. There are good and bad things. The charge is awesome. I really like the fact that I can charge my phone. Although the battery is located somewhere in this region here, and it does heat up when you play for more than 10-20 minutes. You can actually feel a little bit of heat coming off of the game controller itself. The analog sticks feel great. The D-pad feels pretty cool. It's cool that I have a little button here that can toggle my phone on and off, as well as a pause button available, and a little battery charger indicator here. And the buttons overall, they're small and they are close together, but they work completely perfectly. Let's just turn off my iPhone here a little bit. They work as well as you would want them to work, although they are occasionally unresponsive. I had slight problems where maybe 5% of the time they wouldn't work as I intended them to work. The bumpers feel great themselves. They're very responsive. They're very clicky. The triggers, on the other hand, do not click, and they are kind of here. We'll zoom in a little bit. They're kind of like on a hinge, and they don't feel the greatest, to be honest, although they still do the trick for a lot of the games that are currently available. So as for games, what can I play on this? You have to get a game that supports iOS 7 third-party controller. It has to have that support. Current games that support that are all of the Grand Theft Auto games that actually released, including San Andreas, Vice City. You can play games like Limbo, Bastion. You can play games like Galaxy on Fire 2. There's a Call of Duty game available for $6.99. So you might want to keep that in mind, that not all games currently support this controller, although there is a good amount of them that have it or will be including it in the near future. Now, to move on to some of the things I don't necessarily love about it, first of all, the price point. $100 is a lot. Now, $100, that's the cost of it because it does have a battery inside. I would personally prefer an option that is slightly cheaper, maybe around the $30 or $40 mark, that doesn't include the battery. And instead of having a micro USB slot, I would have preferred a pass-through to just use the lightning port that's already inside the iPhone. So I could just plug my iPhone through the case directly into the wall and charge my iPhone and my case at the same time. I think that might have been useful, especially nowadays where some of the public transport and things like that do have electric sockets available on board. I personally probably would have preferred a pass-through. Overall, the design of the controller is quite nice. As you can see, it's kind of a matte finish here on the sides and on the bottom and the back. But on the front, you have a gloss finish, and that gloss finish, you should be able to tell right there, it is quite easy to scratch. I already have scuffs on it, and I've used the thing for only maybe an hour or two. And the scuffs, they seem to be a little bit of a problem. Now, overall, the feel of the controller, it does feel pretty decent. I don't know if it feels like a $100 controller, but it definitely feels like it's made to last. Obviously, only time will tell how long it does last. And overall, it's kind of a niche market right now for mobile gamers. My conclusion to the video is that the MOGA ACE Power is a great attempt at a mobile gaming controller for the iPhone. And for those of us gamers who do have an iPhone 5, 5S, 5C, or iPod 5th generation, but do not have a 3DS or PS Vita or PSP like me, this is actually a pretty decent little handheld gaming controller that lets me play, you know, Grand Theft Auto and games like that on the go, and also let me charge my phone while I'm out. I actually did really enjoy the controller, although I think the price is a little bit steep, and there are a few things like the triggers that are a little bit problematic. Overall, if you have a gamer in your life that you're looking maybe to buy a present for, or you're trying to look to satisfy your own craving for mobile gaming, I think it's worth a shot, although it's not for everyone. Hopefully you take some of the words of the review and first impressions into mind when you consider buying it. Remember, it does have the dual analog sticks, which not a lot of them have right now. They feel really good. They allow you to play shooters and all that stuff without a problem, although they only support certain games. Another small problem is the fact that the side buttons here of volume, they're a little bit hard to reach with the case on. So with that all being said, hopefully you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Hopefully, I see you next time. Bye, guys.